team. Cowboys. And who I'm rolling with, huh?
Welcome to another episode of Classic Cowboys Talk. I am Shavon Revel. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. It's going to get into it. Okay, so I see we are making off-season moves already. I see that we have re-signed Javonte Williams for 3 years. So that's first order of business taken care of. Check that off the list. The next would be, of course, George Pickens, Brendan Arbery. Okay. Get those 2 contracts squared away. I believe, George Pickens will be tagged. And I believe they will get a deal done eventually with George Pickens and Brandon Aubrey. Okay. I saw where Christian Parker is a big fan of Shavon Revel. And I'm going to get into that. And I'm going to get into that in a second. Actually, Christian Parker is a big fan of Shavon Revel, okay? And what other off-season headlines? I see that Jerry Jones is saying the right things. Jerry and Stephen Jones are saying the right things, okay? But I still have to see it though. Yes, they're off to a good start. Re-signing Javonte Williams was a priority. They got that done. Okay. So, I see some signs. Okay. But no, I still have to see more. Okay. We'll see what happens in free agency. We'll see what happens in the draft. Okay. So, just fill in just make some changes on defense, and maybe add a piece on the offensive line. Okay, and because we are pretty much set on offense. Okay, we're pretty much set on offense. The chemistry that Dak, CD, George, and Javonte, that chemistry was just so insane this year. That offensive chemistry was so insane this year that it would be out of their mind to blow that up. Okay, they would be out of their mind to blow up that chemistry, because it was insane just how much chemistry that offensive group had last year. Okay, absolutely insane. So we're pretty much set on offense. Like I said, we probably need a piece on the offensive line. Okay, and defensively, I know we're going to get it right. I have confidence that we're going to get it right, and it should be a interesting off season, okay, to say the least. When I say interesting, I mean that in a good way, okay? I mean that in a good way. So, I saw all this. I was watching Michael Irvin's podcast, okay? And he was speaking on Tyreek Hill, on the injury of Tyreek Hill, and I think he was talking about Tyreek Hill from a pure football standpoint, okay? And he was talking about how Tyreek Hill is one of us, whatnot, as a wide receiver, he's one of us. He was talking about Tyreek Hill's knee injury, okay? And Michael Irvin has been in there before. Michael Irvin knows the grind and the pain of going through rehab. Okay, he tore his ACL in his second season in 1989 against the 49ers. Okay, and he was trending that season towards and he was trending towards a 1,000-yard season. Okay, that's Michael Irvin was trending towards a 1,000-yard season, but obviously tearing his ACL obviously interrupted those plans. Okay, and interrupted that trajectory he was on. Okay, and there were teammates who said that he dropped a lot of passes early on in his career. Okay, he dropped a lot of passes early on in his career, and that's probably one of the reasons why Dave Shula was pushing Jimmy Johnson to trade him or to cut Michael Irvin. Okay. Unfortunately, Dave Shula was so lame as an offensive coordinator that he got replaced by North Turner in 1991. Okay, best thing that ever happened to Aikman, Irvin, and Smith. Okay. Anyway, so he was talking about Tyreek Hill's knee injury and Michael Irvin, and I initially thought that Michael Irvin thought he wanted to quit the game of football because he thought he would never come back. He thought he would never be the same. Okay, but I never knew that Michael Irvin thought about ending his life by suicide. Okay, when he got injured. Okay, and so I had to rewind that back. I had to rewind that back. Wait a second. I thought initially Michael Irvin just wanted to quit the game of football. But I never knew Michael Irvin was having thoughts of suicide when he got injured in his second year. Okay. I never knew who that. That's what Michael Irvin said. Okay. And I was like, wow. Okay. And of course, Rondell Moore, ended his life by suicide. Okay. And Rondell Moore was coming off back-to-back years where he was where he had knee injuries. Okay, he had knee injuries, and I thought about two people. I thought about Marshawn Elin, and I thought about what Michael Irvin said on his podcast. Okay, when he said he was thinking about suicide. Okay, after he got injured. Okay, so I don't know if Rondell Moore being injured for the past 2 years had an impact on him. Okay. But yeah. Michael Irvin saying he thought hard about suicide. That surprised me. That surprised me. Because again, a little bit about me. I actually attempted suicide. Okay, believe it or not, I attempted suicide, but was unsuccessful. But was not. But did not happen. Okay. And now helping people who are going through that same thing as a crisis counselor on the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Okay. So Michael Irvin saying that he thought about suicide after getting injured. That surprised me. And but Michael Irvin obviously came through it. Okay, he came through it, and Michael Irvin became Michael Irvin, right? So I mentioned Shavon Revel. earlier. Okay, I mentioned Shavon Revel. Okay, so let's flashback to 1989 when the Herschel Walker trade took place. Okay, one of the players that came to the Cowboys as part of the Herschel Walker trade was cornerback Issiac Holt. Okay, and Issiac Holt, I believe he had a career high 8 interceptions in the second season with Minnesota in 1986, and he was also on the '87 Vikings team that went to the NFC Championship game versus the Redskins. Okay, so he comes over to Dallas. That's part of the Herschel Walker trade. Okay, and so in 1990, in 1990, he was one of the leaders of the Cowboys in interceptions, right? Um, he actually took one back for a touchdown against Tampa Bay in the 1990 season. Hold on. Okay, so yeah. Hold on. All right. Okay. So yeah, so Issiac Holt was actually one of the best players on the Cowboys defense. Believe it or not, in 1990. And so I just mentioned he had a interception return for a touchdown against Tampa Bay early in the season. And then Troy Aikman threw a game-winning touchdown pass to Michael Irvin, who had just returned from a knee injury. Okay? Yeah. Hold up. Nope. Okay. Yeah.
American in college and a potential All-Pro
Okay.
in the NFL. Behind the front four came the linebackers. There was veteran Jack Del Rio and a young crunchmaster named Vincent Smith, number 57. Athletic Ken Norton Jr. blitzed up the middle, an area usually ferociously patrolled by Eugene Lockhart. Stopping big backs dead in their tracks is the specialty of the hitting machine. The Cowboys' pass defense ranked first in the NFC and second in the NFL. Defenders like Manny Hendricks, Robert Williams, number 37 James Washington, and safety Ray Horton, number 20, made passing an ill-advised adventure. Cornerback Issiac Holt was the unit's star. Number 30 carved out his piece of turf and made it no man's land. Holt not only gave the secondary the physical presence it has lacked in recent years, but he tied for the team lead in interceptions. The special teams were often the springboard to victory. Kickers kept...
Yeah. So he was one of the best players in the Cowboys defense in 1990, okay? But then along came 1991, right? He started to get exposed. He began to really get exposed on defense, and he had got beaten several times early in the season, okay? And I remember when the New York Giants came to Texas Stadium to take on the Cowboys. I remember Dale Henson saying Isaac Holt owes his football team because a couple of other plays, not just in this game, but in a couple of other games, it's time for Isaac Holt to step up and make a play. And he should have an opportunity to. See, what had happened was the New York Giants had picked on him the whole game, okay? The New York Giants picked on Isaac Holt the whole game, okay? And so they kept going at Isaac Holt the whole game, and he kept getting burned the whole game, right? Okay, so, but he finally made a play when Hostetler went deep for Stephen Baker, and he intercepted Hostetler in the end zone, and that ended the other game. And I remember Dale Hansen saying, "Oh, Isaac Holt, you don't think that shower's gonna feel better to him right about up now?" Okay, but yeah, Isaac Holt got beaten several times that season, despite leading the Cowboys with 4 interceptions that season. Okay, and Jimmy Johnson saw all that, and that's one of the main reasons why they drafted Kevin Smith in 1992. Okay, and Kevin Smith ended up taking his starting job from Isaac Holt late in the 1992 season. Okay, and so of course Kevin Smith was younger, faster, quicker than Isaac Holt, and Isaac Holt didn't like that too much. Okay. And got into a little bit of a rift with Jimmy Johnson, okay? And ended up getting cut after the season because he opposed, or he had some differences with Jimmy Johnson over off-season workouts, okay? And so, yeah. So, I'm bringing that up to say when Treyvon Diggs got cut towards the end of the year, okay? It reminded me of the Treyvon Diggs situation, okay, where he got cut late in the year, and they had a guy named we have a guy named Shavon Revel on the roster, okay, and it made me think, was Treyvon Diggs the modern day Issiac Holt of the Dallas Cowboys, okay? Was Treyvon Diggs a modern day Issiac Holt of the Dallas Cowboys? And I'm bringing that up in seriousness, okay? Because Issiac Holt was pretty good in our secondary for a little while. Then Issiac Holt got exposed and began getting beat with regularity. Then Kevin Smith comes in. And Kevin Smith holds down that cornerback spot for several years. Okay, so Treyvon Diggs has a couple of All-Pro seasons. Okay, then Treyvon Diggs begins to get beat regularly, and then Cowboy fans who knew the truth said he always got beat. He just covered it up with interceptions. Okay? He always got beat. And so it made me think. Issiac Holt gets beat a lot. Kevin Smith comes in, holds down that cornerback spot. Treyvon Diggs gets beat a lot. Shavon Revel comes in. And plays decently, okay? But I believe the Cowboys had the same thinking when they drafted Kevin Smith to replace Issiac Holt, okay? They draft Shavon Revel, and I think they believe that Shavon Revel showed enough to be opposite of Deron Bland, okay? But they may move Deron Bland back to the slot, which I think where Deron Bland belongs, okay? I think DaRon Bland belongs in the slot. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So I just found that really interesting. That I think Treyvon Diggs is a modern day Issiac Holt. He got beat a lot. Okay. Then they drafted a young guy in Kevin Smith. Cowboys drafted a young guy, Shavon Revel. Okay. And I said this before, but y'all remember when he intercepted Mac Jones in New England? Okay. And returned it for a touchdown? Okay. What happened on the very next series? Y'all remember what happened on the very next series? He got beat by Kendrick Bourne for a touchdown. Yes. 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 He intercepts a pass, then he turns right back around and gets beat by Kendrick Bourne for a touchdown. Now, luckily for him, Dak Prescott came to the rescue when he threw the game-winning touchdown pass to CeeDee Lamb in overtime. Okay. So yeah. All right, that's it. And that's all for Classic Cowboys Talk. I am out of here. May God bless you all. Peace.
Who? Cowboys. What's my blue and gray team? Cowboys. And who I'm rolling with, huh? My Cowboys. Steelers better get it right. Giants better get it right. Who? Cowboys. What's my blue and gray team? Cowboys. And who I'm rolling with, huh? My Cowboys. Eagles better get it right. Skins better get it right.